Ever noticed your mouth watering at the sight of a scrumptious meal? Ever wondered why that happens? Well, you're not alone. This curious phenomenon is a product of a fascinating collaboration between our digestive system and our brain. When we see a mouth-watering dish, our brain processes the image and sends a signal that says, "This food is delicious and should be eaten." This signal prompts the salivary glands to secrete saliva, effectively prepping our mouth and digestive system for the incoming meal. Our brain's hypothalamus plays a key role in this process, and our sense of smell can amplify it. Past experiences with delicious food that we've enjoyed can also trigger this response, thanks to the power of learning and conditioning. So there's a lot more to our mouths watering than meets the eye. Stay tuned as we dive into the delicious science of why our mouths water when we see food. So what exactly causes our mouths to water? It's all down to a vital fluid known as saliva. Saliva, a watery substance secreted by glands in our mouth, plays an essential role in our body. It's not just water, but a cocktail of various enzymes, mucus, and antibacterial compounds. Saliva serves multiple purposes. It helps keep our mouths moist, making it easier to speak, swallow, and taste food. It also plays a crucial role in the early stages of digestion. When we chew, saliva breaks down the food, making it easier for our bodies to absorb the nutrients. But that's not all. Saliva also helps protect our teeth and gums. It washes away food particles and neutralizes acids, guarding against tooth decay and gum disease. Saliva even plays a role in our immune system, containing antibodies that attack viral pathogens. That's right, saliva does more than just make our mouths water, it's essential for our health. Now that we understand what saliva is, let's look at what causes our mouths to water when we see food. Our brain plays a pivotal role in saliva production. It's like the conductor of an orchestra, orchestrating the complex symphony of our body's functions. When we spot a delicious dish, our eyes send a signal to our brain, which in turn sends a message to our salivary glands saying, "It's time to get to work." The star of this show is a small region of the brain known as the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is responsible for various bodily functions, including hunger and thirst. When we see or even think of food, the hypothalamus springs into action. It processes the information and transmits a signal to our salivary glands to start producing saliva. But how does this message travel from the brain to our mouth? The credit goes to the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve, one of the 12 cranial nerves, acts as a communication highway, transmitting signals from the brain to various parts of the body, including our salivary glands. When the hypothalamus signals that food is on the way, the vagus nerve carries this message to the salivary glands. This causes the glands to ramp up saliva production, preparing our mouth to receive and start the digestion process of the incoming food. So, when we see a juicy steak or a piece of chocolate cake, it's not just our stomach that gets excited. Our brain gets in on the act too, telling our mouth to prepare for the delicious feast that's about to come. In essence, mouth-watering is a reflection of the deep connection between our brain and our digestive system. It's a testament to the intricate yet efficient communication network within our bodies. So it's our brain that tells our mouth, "Get ready, food is coming." But there's more to it than just sight. Our sense of smell plays a significant role too. You see, our olfactory system, or what we commonly refer to as our sense of smell, is intricately tied to our taste buds. Together, they form the flavor profile of the food we eat. But how exactly does smell contribute to our mouths watering at the sight of food? Well, when you catch a whiff of a delectable dish, the odor molecules in the air interact with the olfactory receptors in your nose. These receptors then send signals to your brain, specifically to a region called the olfactory bulb. This bulb is part of the limbic system of our brain, which is associated with emotions and memories, as well as basic physiological functions like hunger and thirst. Once your brain processes the smell as something appetizing, it sends a message to your salivary glands, telling them to start producing saliva. This is your body's way of preparing for the food it anticipates you're about to eat. It's like a pre-party for your taste buds, getting them ready to savor and break down the delicious morsels you're about to consume. And it's not just the smell of food that can get your mouth watering. Even the memory of a smell, perhaps a dish your grandmother used to make when you were a child, can be enough to trigger saliva production. This is due to the strong connection between our sense of smell and our memory. So, the next time you're wondering why your mouth starts to water when you smell your favorite dish cooking, remember that it's all thanks to your olfactory system. It's working in tandem with your brain and salivary glands to prepare your body for the process of eating and digestion. So, next time you smell something delicious cooking, remember that your nose is helping your mouth get ready for it. opening. But what about when you think about a food you love? Or when you see a picture of a tasty dish? Now let's journey into the realms of our memories and conditioning. Our brains are like supercomputers, constantly processing and storing information from our experiences. This includes our interactions with food. Remember that delicious pasta you had on your vacation in Italy? Or the succulent barbecue at your grandma's backyard party last summer? Well, your brain does too. And it doesn't just remember, it associates. When you've had a positive experience with a particular food in the past, your brain stores this information. It logs the taste, the smell, the texture, everything. It's like a culinary diary. Now when you encounter this food again, or even just think about it, your brain retrieves these memories. It recalls the pleasure you derived from consuming that food, and it reacts. How, you ask? By triggering saliva production. It's your brain's way of saying, hey, we know this, we like this, let's get ready to eat it again. This process is called conditioning. It's a form of learning where a certain stimulus, in this case the thought or sight of a particular food, leads to a specific response, mouth-watering. This isn't just limited to real-life experiences. Ever noticed how your mouth waters when you watch a cooking show or scroll through food pictures on social media? That's your brain being conditioned by visual stimuli. It sees delicious food, remembers similar past experiences, and responds by preparing your mouth for what it anticipates is coming. This conditioning doesn't just happen overnight. It's a process that builds over time, with repeated positive experiences. The more you enjoy a certain food, the stronger the association, and the more likely your mouth is to water at the mere thought of it. Our brains are pretty smart, aren't they? They remember what we like and get our mouths ready for it. So, we've learned a lot about why our mouths water when we see food. It's been a flavorful ride, hasn't it? Let's take a quick detour and recap the juicy details we've uncovered on this journey. First, we discovered that saliva, the water in our mouths, is a liquid substance produced by our salivary glands. It serves several crucial functions, from kickstarting our digestion by moistening and softening food, to acting as a natural defense mechanism against harmful microorganisms and tooth decay. Then, we explored the fascinating role of the brain in this process. The hypothalamus, a small but mighty region in our brain, processes signals related to hunger and thirst. Upon the sight of scrumptious food, it sends a signal to our salivary glands via the vagus nerve, triggering the release of saliva. This primes our mouth and digestive system, readying them for the upcoming feast. We also learned about the power of smell. Our olfactory senses play a significant role in increasing saliva production. When we catch a whiff of a tantalizing dish, our brain processes the aroma, recognizing the food as delicious. This sensory analysis prompts our salivary glands to produce more saliva, further preparing us for the culinary experience. Lastly, we delved into the concepts of learning and conditioning. We found that our past experiences with delectable dishes can trigger mouth-watering. When we have a positive experience with a particular food, our brain codes it as delicious. In the future, merely seeing this food can lead to an increase in saliva production. In essence, mouth-watering at the sight of tasty food is a natural reflex resulting from the intricate collaboration between our digestive system and brain. This reflex ensures we're ready to eat and kickstart digestion. So, the next time your mouth waters at the sight of a delicious meal, you'll know exactly why. Thanks for joining us on this tasty journey through the science of mouth-watering.